Well, hello there again. This is Wayne Williams. And I want to tell you it's been a kind of a bad day. And I want you to understand where I'm going. I had recorded all these lessons for VBS and I was going out and I was celebrating. The beach seems far off this year because of COVID. And so I decided I was going to take my Legos and just go out to the sand pile and just build me a nice sand castle. Build me an oceanfront condo. Just reminisce about the beach and think about how much fun we have when we can go there. And then this morning, you get up and the rains had come. And it totally destroyed my Lego town. So I cleaned it up, I put all my Legos away. But there went my beach trip. There went my vision. It made me kind of wonder, was building my Lego town in the sand pit the right place to build? It reminded me of a Bible story. I don't know if you can remember it, about the man who builds his house on the sand and the man who builds his house on the rocks, and when the troubles of life come through, they just wipes away that sandcastle. Kind of like what the rain did to me in my Lego town, in my beach trip that I'm not taking because of COVID. So here I sit, my beach dream was wiped away. I guess I shouldn't have built my house on the sand. I guess I should have just taken my Lego box and built it on that firm foundation of the Lego box. It got me thinking. A wise man builds his house. But what happens if he doesn't build his house? Have you ever thought about that? Well, both stories are in the Bible. We just don't look at the other one. And that's in Hebrews chapter 5, beginning at verse 11. It says, "Concerning him we have much to say, and it is hard to explain since you have become dull of hearing. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you have need for someone to teach you the elementary principles of the oracles of God, and you have come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is not accustomed to the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But solid food is for the mature, who have their senses trained to discern good and evil." The ABCs, the elementary principles, the Bible foundations. So you've got the man who builds his house on the sand, you got the man who builds his house on the rock, and then you've got the guy who only builds his foundation. The elementary things, the ABCs. Well, let me show you here. Bob and Larry's ABCs. Milk. If that offends you, let me open the Bible. How about this one? The Toddler's Bible. It's really full of great biblical elementary teachings suitable for a toddler. Well, that's what this passage is talking about in Hebrews. It's like you got a vacant lot right next to you, and somebody has bought it and they're going to build a house. And they come in on Monday and they put the rebar in and lay this concrete, and it's going to be a pole barn house. They come in a few days later and rip it all out. And then they lay another foundation for that kind of house they're going to build. They come back a few days later and rip it out and lay down another foundation because they just don't know what they want to build. But they're really good at laying foundations, the ABCs. You know, all I want is an evangelical sermon because people need to come to church to get saved. That's an ABC. Nothing wrong with it, but you don't need a diet of it. Desire the sincere meat of the word. What do you want to build your house? What kind of foundation do you want it to be? It says you should be teachers. You've been a Christian long enough, you've been a believer long enough that you should be doing something with what you know. That no, we want people to teach us the basics every time we get together. We want to sing those real elementary songs of Jesus loves me, this I know. Nothing wrong with it, but don't you want more? Kind of makes me wonder how I'm building my house. You need someone to teach you the elementary principles of the teachings of God. And you've come to have milk and not solid food. Well, milk is good. Great with cereal. You know, great with birthday cake. Like me some birthday cake. But do you want milk as your only diet? Babies grow teeth so they can get out of the milk stage and get into the chewing stage and desiring more complex food. Most days I wonder where I'm at. I kind of wonder what questions I should be asking. Do I really want VeggieTales ABCs? B is for Bob and his big bamboo boat. T is for toy box and bright red tomato. U is for underwear on a potato. S is for a shepherd with 6 silly sheep that need standing up when they fall in a heap. Does my Bible teaching need to be at this level? Or Jesus goes fishing. Let's go fishing, Jesus said. Simon Peter caught a fish for a living. We fished all last night, Simon Peter answered, but we didn't catch one fish. Jesus smiled. You will today, he said. Put your nets over there. Now look at all those fish. Jesus made that happen. Only God's Son could do that. Do you want that level of Bible teaching? The ABCs, the basic building blocks of communication. That's great where we start with, but where are we going to? Now this is the Hebrew-Greek Study Bible. Unfortunately, somebody really smart put it together. And it's got all sorts of words and all sorts of commentary that help explain the passages. Now, I don't know what kind of Bible you have. I hope it's more in depth than the toddler Bible. I hope it's more in depth than the one that you have on your phone. But do you really want a deeper teaching? Because the elementary principles are the foundation. It's what you begin. But upon that is where you start building an entire belief, an entire walk of life. The daily disciplines. I was in a discussion with a group of guys this morning, and we were talking about the journey that comes out. How many of us even read the journey? If the journey is to prepare us, help prepare us for the Sunday sermon, and we're doing nothing with it, which Bible do we want? We've been doing the Bible lessons, and some have been doing it on Zoom, and some have been sending out the lesson that we get each week. How many of us are even reading those? You know, the old Sunday School Quarterly. Well, it comes digitally now, or maybe you get it the other way. What's happened to us where we claim to want the meat, but we settle on our daily life for Bob and Larry and the Toddler Bible? Building a Lego house in the sand is not the same as being at the beach in a beach house. And when the rain washes it away, it leaves nothing. There's nothing stable. Where are you at on being stable? Where are you at in growing? The growing is the building of the house. And so the lesson is about where do you build your house? But it's about building the house. It's about completing the work that goes on top of the foundation. Folks, it's time we get away from the Toddler Bible. It's time we get away from Bob and Larry. It's time that we start building the house. We have the foundation. We have the cornerstone. But can we build the foundation and then build the house upon it? I don't know where you're at. I'm not sure where I'm at. But if you ever want to play Legos, give me a call. I can't build much with them. But I do have them. I hope you all have had a good week. I hope you've enjoyed Vacation Bible School. And I'm starting to get into this blogging, video blogging, because there's never been an opinion that I've had that I haven't been willing to express. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I pray that God's blessings continue to flow over you as you build the house from the foundation up. Good night.